Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. And as always, watch out for the people pretending to be me in every single comment section. They're now doing it on Facebook as well, but also I'm pretty sure you've seen them here, so just give them a lovely hello. I don't know what else to really say. So at the moment, the cryptocurrency market is looking pretty good. Pretty not too bad. The only real weird issue is that Bitcoin continues to fluctuate. And I mean, like, they're like actually kind of really weird fluctuations. Many of the other coins right now are completely up. Bitcoin, for some reason, especially as everyone slept, was having really weird moves. I'm like twirling a pen in my hand as if that actually does something. Wait for it. Okay, a bit better. Yeah, I was like screaming in my ear. And there were a lot of drop-offs. And I mentioned this before in another video sometime last week, I believe that it was. Every single time, normally, whenever we see that the altcoins are doing extremely well, Bitcoin tends to have a very serious dip. And I assumed that this was because, and have assumed for a while, that whenever it looks like the other coins are going to start really outperforming Bitcoin, the people who are the heaviest whales decide that they want to try and move the entire market down in unison, but that hasn't been working. And a lot of coins completely resisted that dip, which is even weirder because Bitcoin was around 56,000. It slammed down to $50,000. I'll show you the chart at some point in the video. None of the other coins really reacted, which is quite fascinating to see because I assume that they're also just fatigued at this point of Bitcoin moving up in little small movements and the altcoins doing absolutely nothing. This one says, technical analysis, Bitcoin revisits key support. That's after it dropped. Here's what could trigger sharp increase. I guess time, because it took no more than like an hour or two for it to move right back up to where it was before, when I guess whoever's trying to manipulate the prices realized, oh wait, we can't move the rest of the market as easily as we could before. The major price news of the day, and this is, and I mean like major price news, it says Ethereum hits $2,800, making gap to Bitcoin tighter than ever. Ethereum has been doing extremely well. It's been like a week and a half. I mean, just in general, Ethereum, was it $200 sometime last year, maybe even less than that. It's been doing incredibly well. There are a lot of developments for Ethereum, a lot of upgrades, a lot of updates, a lot of all these new things that are being put on top of it, a lot of new coins, ICOs, STOs, NFTs being built on top of it, websites, like you name it, it's happening all over the place. We also went over the news yesterday that the EIB, the European Investment Bank, is putting a $100 million bond on top of Ethereum. There's so much actual usage of Ethereum. You would not believe the articles that I've been seeing over the last like 4 hours just talking about what Ethereum looks like it's going to be doing and how far the coin is going to go and exactly how much further it's going to get ahead than Bitcoin. We'll just look at some of these things right now. It says Ethereum price rally intensifies towards $3,000. Bulls touch $2,800 for the first in history. The news that we've been having before, like I mentioned yesterday, we had news constantly last year that if Bitcoin hit $12,000, it would basically rocket up higher. It happened. It hit it. The number that continuously pops up over and over for Ethereum is $3,000. $3,000. We got to hit $3,000. $3,000. $3,000. You get it. I keep seeing that number around everywhere. And when I'm reading around, the key indicator is that if we hit 3,000, that would be the moment where Ethereum basically begins to move a lot higher. And the really good thing about that is, once again, if Ethereum does very well, all the altcoins do extremely well in unison. So that would be a great moment for the entire alt market. It says Ethereum currently is massively dominant for use cases said by, I don't even have to read through this one. I was going to, but it's not really that important. What's happening is that a lot of people are figuring out, or maybe just finally announcing, that Ethereum has an enormous amount of use cases and is being used across many different platforms. It's kind of leading this charge for a how do you say this? Why Ethereum has value. The entire prospect of why Bitcoin has value has been the idea of digital gold, or it's a store of value, or you can use it as a hedge against the dollar for inflation. But Ethereum is kind of, this is what Ethereum has always basically been, but now I guess it's finally kind of getting there. Ethereum is meant to be like a world computer. It's meant to be like its own internet, if you kind of want to say that, but it's more, it's completely should be decentralized, and you can kind of build and do whatever you want and make smart contracts and make this and make websites. And, you know, there's no real, what's the word? Stopping it? I guess it's kind of saying, you know, if you build something on top of the actual network because it is decentralized. So, yeah, there's a lot of really weird news of people basically talking about, well, you know, Ethereum has value because of this and because of that. And yes, of course, it's true. It's that you can do all the same exact things you would do on the internet or any other place on top of Ethereum, but it's the amount of actual usage that I think is completely shocking people. And I'm, once again, not really sure why, but once again, governments are using Ethereum. They've been using it for a couple of years now. A lot of people have been buying up huge amounts of Ethereum for a while, especially institutions. And I think the real moment when people will find value, and I did air quotes for those of you who are not looking, is when the July upgrade happens. And that's when Ethereum will become deflationary. That's going to be the moment, because the entire reason, or a large part of the reason why Bitcoin has value, once again air quoting, is the idea that as time goes on, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset as opposed to, you know, printing more and more every single year like the US dollar and the euro. So anyway, that's just one part of it as well. It says we're also getting these discussions again as well. This is a perfect mimic of 2017, and you know what? Why not? At this point, if we are currently in the midst of being in the center of what was 2017, that means that the entire cryptocurrency market is going to do extremely well in the second half of the year. And that's not even a joke. The news is, for those of you who are not looking at the screen once again, it says Ethereum could dethrone Bitcoin as the leading cryptocurrency. I do not think that this is ever going to happen. I personally do not feel that this is ever going to be a thing. However, I do believe that in the next couple of months, Ethereum mathematically, percentage-wise, is probably going to completely outperform Bitcoin. Just throwing that out there. I want everyone to really understand exactly how significant it is. That, you know how Bitcoin has the halvings, and it went from 50 to 25 to 12.5 to 6.5 being issued every so-and-so. Ethereum had the same exact thing, but they were never really publicized. It's not even called a halving. I don't even, like, type in like Ethereum issuance rate or like Ethereum issuance chart. You should probably definitely find it. There was like 25 Ether coming out when, you know, as the rewards were coming out. And then I believe it was 12, and then it was 10, and then it was 5. And I believe it's 1 or 2 right now. They've been doing it on the side to try and like match with Bitcoin. But when we actually have a burn, this is going to be completely insane, because there's the only people who will be able to make new Ether are basically the people who are holding it and staking it as we transition from proof of work into proof of stake. And that's part of the extra value proposition. So it's no longer like just governments are using it, which I think is also completely insane, because I still think Ethereum is incredibly undervalued just based off of that in general. But the entire idea that people are building websites and people are building video games and digital worlds, and eventually in the future we're going to be using it without even knowing it, that we're on Ethereum buying apartments and websites and fractionalized versions of real estate and pieces of art just through this blockchain. So the news, once again, 2017 being, as Ethereum began to rocket in price in 2017, we had a lot of discussions about something called the flippening. The flippening was the idea that Ethereum would rise so high in price that its market cap would pass by Bitcoin, and therefore Ethereum would become the #1 coin. The hype around this moment in 2017 is indescribable. Like, we were only a couple $1 billion away, and I'm saying only a couple billion because billions in the cryptocurrency space means absolutely almost nothing at this point. The fascinating part was is that this news happened for around a good 2 to 3 months where people were talking about a flippening, and Ethereum, I mean, when I say pumping hard, like the price looked completely insane and everyone was kind of a believer at that point. There were so many memes that were passing around. There was a really funny one. It was this guy like kind of going like this to someone else on the other side, and he basically, I think it said like, you are the altcoin now, basically talking to Bitcoin. The greatest part is that I think behind the scenes, this kind of lit a bonfire under the people who were Ethereum bulls, or Bitcoin bulls, if you kind of want to say that, basically because as we were nearing the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin went no and started skyrocketing upwards, which also caused the rest of the market to also move upward. And this is when we have that gigantic euphoric moment, because I think right now, I think based on current prices, I think Ethereum has to triple in price, and then it'll be right where Bitcoin is. But I have an inkling that Bitcoin whales and bulls will not let that happen. But these discussions are flopping around again. It is, what is it, like a day or two away from May, June, July. So we have about 12 weeks, 10 weeks, somewhere around there, until we get this Ethereum upgrade. And I assume that the price is going to continue reacting positively to this actual usage and the deflationary status that it will eventually have. Anyway, so what's this one? Right. All over the place. There's an enormous amount of news. And I mean, I can't understate exactly how popular this currently is right now. It says investment bank JP Morgan has published a report explaining why Ether is outperforming Bitcoin. Citing several key reasons, the firm concluded that there is evidence of more resilient liquidity, less resilience on derivatives markets to transfer and warehouse risk, and more durable underlying demand base for now at least. JP Morgan published a report on Tuesday entitled "Why is Ether Outperforming?" The analyst went with the firm's fixed income strategy for the U.S. wrote, "In recent days, one of the more interesting developments in cryptocurrency markets has been the outperformance of Ether relative to other tokens, noting that Bitcoin is more of a crypto commodity than currency. JP Morgan said that Ether is the backbone of the crypto native economy and therefore functions more as a medium of exchange. The analyst then asserted that to the extent owning a share of this potential activity is more valuable, Ether should outperform Bitcoin over the long run. Long run, I'm not too sure, but listen, and I'll say this right now as well, no one knows where this market is going. Not one single actual person on this planet. We can use scientific evidence and numbers, there's the pen again in my hand, and all these other things to try and really put together where we think these prices are going to go. I will tell you this right now, there is not a person on this planet walking around right now who had any indication last year that Dogecoin would become the number 4 coin this year. Zero. There was not one person, not even Muskie himself. The market's very unpredictable. There could, of course, be a possibility at some point in the future where Cardano does overtake Ethereum. It's believable. Sure, why not? Or that Ethereum pumps so hard, someone misses the ball, forgets to pump Bitcoin, and Ethereum becomes the number 1 coin for a second, and that kind of brings into everyone's mind, oh my gosh, this is possible, and then we get Ether as a number 1 coin. I don't think that's going to happen. I do, however, think Ethereum has solidified its position in the crypto world, and I think our grandkids and our great-grandkids are still going to be using Ether in some capacity. Just throwing that out there, because I see a lot of people get very upset when I mean, a lot of people, geez Louise, and especially in the comment section, especially, and I know that these people are new to the channel as well because they have no idea what the channel actually is, and they call me a Bitcoin maxi and all this other stuff, and it's like, no, I'm just going off of the actual evidence that we have. Like, there's a reason why only certain coins are talked about, because these are the only coins that are actually being adopted. Like, your crappy coin can have smart contracts and have some NFTs on it, but it's not like JP Morgan Chase Analytics talking about it, or like other world banks putting $100 million bond on it. It's just not the same kind of level of adoption. So yes, I do think that Bitcoin, just based off of logic and reason and the numbers that we've been getting, and once again, I know these people haven't been watching the channel. If you've been paying, I've had the channel for 4 years now. If you've kept up, I make a video every single day. If you've kept up with the news every day for the last 4 years, it's evident that Bitcoin is going to be king, at least for a while. But at the same exact time, there are many other coins that are going to still be around in the future as well. So just thought I'd throw that out there, because the amount of people, I even see a lot of people being like, why do you never talk about XRP? Such a Bitcoin maxi? And it's like, do you know what this channel was before you found my channel like 8 days ago? You probably have no idea. Like I try to be crypto agnostic, but there are a lot of terrible crappy coins in the space, so they don't get mentioned because they're usually scams. And on top of that, what does this one say? Here we go. Nice little segue. It says Bitcoin is stable around $54,000, while XRP has skyrocketed 50%. There's a lot of movement right now around XRP. If you are confused as to why, I'm going to explain to you in this very moment. This news came out yesterday, and a lot of people were like, what? That's possible? That's insane. I can't believe that that's a thing. I assure you it is. It says, after dealing with the lawsuit from the US SEC, Ripple's leadership will take the firm public. Surprise! This is the view of Yoshitaka Katao, who is the CEO of SBI Holdings. SBI Holdings is the largest, if not one of the largest, I believe they're the largest banking conglomerate in Japan, and I think even other parts of Asia. There's SBI everything. There's SBI Gaming, there's SBI Banking, there's SBI, I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely huge. Kitao, who is also a member of Ripple's board of directors, opined during an earnings call that Ripple would opt for a direct stock listing, adding that both the CEO Brad Garlinghouse and executive chairman Chris Larson want the Deca unicorn to move in that direction. This happened years ago. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that I feel and have felt for a while as to what I thought or think is actually taking place. The people from Ripple have been asking the SEC for regulatory clarity for about a good 4 years now, maybe somewhere around that time frame. The entire idea is that the SEC and the CFTC, so the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Commodities Futures Director, who actually cares what these old titles mean, basically came forward and declared that Bitcoin was a commodity and therefore it was properly decentralized. At the same, I think 3 months later, they declared that Ethereum was a commodity and also completely decentralized. And every other coin, that's Lumens, that's Litecoin, every other coin was basically like, hey, what about us? But Bitcoin and Ether being the largest things in the market, they got the answer and everyone else kind of really didn't. So during this time, we had a lot of other people. There were people who were launching, that doesn't make any sense, lawsuits and stuff like that against Ripple. The most famous one being someone I believe lost, I think, $35 as they were trading XRP. The price went down and they decided to sue Ripple, saying that XRP was an unregistered security. They had no idea about it, and therefore, you know, I want millions because I lost $35, which I thought was incredibly stupid, because you should have known the risk in general of investing in anything. You don't buy Apple stock, the stock price goes down, you lose $35 and you go, that's it, I got to sue Apple. I mean, there's no other way. So the lawsuit against Ripple that we are currently seeing right now from the SEC, now this is my opinion. I do not know if this is true, but the way that the world works and the way that money works, I just assume that this is kind of the thing. I assume that the lawsuit is being done so that there is no ambiguity at all after all of this as to if the coin is a security or a commodity. Either way, if it's a commodity, the price goes up. If it's a security, it then has the legal backing of the SEC and can then be listed on stock exchanges and many other places where securities are actually legal. We've heard from the company Ripple a year and some change ago, maybe even 2 years at this point, that they planned on making Ripple go public. I think when they did not receive regulatory clarity from the SEC, it was basically like all right, let's just do the lawsuit thing. This is why we started getting news about a month into the lawsuit that they just planned on kind of, what's the word? settling with the SEC just to kind of get it out of the way. Sure, we did something wrong. Here's a couple $1 million. Let's move on with the entire thing, which is what I think is happening. They planned on going public for a very long time. XRP's price is moving up right now because I think a lot of people who may be new into the market are now realizing, hey, this company is also going to go public. They all plan on going public. Every single one. Every single mega company in the space. If you think that Ripple, the multi-billion-dollar company, had no intentions, Coinbase went public. Should we? No. No, we are not doing that. No, sit down. They are definitely going to be going public as well. Katao said, after the current lawsuit, Ripple will go public. The current CEO wants to do that. Chris wants to do that. The move would see Ripple listed on an over-the-counter market where its shares would be publicly quoted and available to retail and institutional investors alike. Going public would put new requirements on Ripple and could lead to fascinating changes in the firm's structure and output. Speaking at the World Economic Forum at Davos back in January of last year, Brad Garlinghouse indicated that the company going public would be a natural evolution. He said, in the next 12 months, you'll see IPOs in the crypto blockchain space, but then, something happened, so no one really, Anyway, we're not going to be the last, but I expect us to be on the leading side. It's a natural evolution for our company. So part of the news is that they plan on going public. I'm not really sure. I don't get why people think that the SEC lawsuit against Ripple is so significant that the company would crumble and that XRP would crumble. The amount of people who've been so shocked and awed that XRP has been rising in price once again. There are roughly, I don't know the exact number, I keep seeing the number, 193 different countries on the planet. Got it, cool. The United States is one of them. The United States is currently the only country who does not consider XRP to be a commodity or a currency. Surprise, there are many countries on the planet who consider XRP to be an actual currency. It's just the United States. Once again, so, digital currencies can be sent all over the place, decentralized, no one can stop it. So when this SEC nonsense is over, which I think the SEC is going to really try and drag it out because the SEC is an actual dinosaur who just will not let it go. I saw something earlier. They were trying to say something negative about Binance or something like that recently. And there was some other company and it's like, just stop it. Like you're just embarrassing yourself at this point. When that is done, whenever it might be, XRP's price is going to skyrocket because the resolution of this nonsensical lawsuit is over. And when they announce that they're going to go public, the price is going to go even higher. This is where I was saying before, it's fairly obvious. If we're having conversations about Dogecoin hitting $1, we can have logical conversations that XRP currently right now can easily hit $10 per coin. Just based off of logic and math. And on top of that as well, the Femex cryptocurrency exchange has relisted XRP, the token associated with Ripple, according to details shared with CoinGape. The trading platform known for backing renowned cryptocurrency projects will be listing an additional 8 cryptocurrencies as well. And XRP will have support for, I believe that's Tether and also the US dollar. The only ones we're waiting for right now, once again, are Coinbase and Kraken. I don't think the Gemini twins ever had XRP, and I think any nonsense about them talking about that XRP is not decentralized enough, no. For those of you who do not know, the Winklevoss twins got into Bitcoin around 2011, 2012, and at that point, many thousands of moons ago, is that thousands of moons ago? I'm going to say it's actually thousands of moons ago. They announced then that they held 200,000 Bitcoin. I assumed for a very long time that they did not stop buying when Bitcoin hit $10, $100. If we still have news that institutions are buying up Bitcoin at $58,000, we can assume they have more than just 200K Bitcoin. So I think Gemini is never, ever going to list XRP unless I'm mistaken and they've already done so. They are betting on their mega coin to actually do the best. And this is why you hear the Gemini twins always going on the news talking about how great Bitcoin is, but they never really mutter the words Ethereum. So anyway, yeah, the coin is probably going to continue going up in price. I'm sorry to disappoint other people who don't understand how math works or that XRP has a huge community behind them. But yeah, XRP's pumping. And yeah, let's move on. Also in unsurprising news, in a policy meeting on Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Reserve told the public that the monetary easing, that is the printing of money by them, will continue and the benchmark interest rate will be kept near zero. The point of an interest rate being at zero or near zero is to incentivize people to take out debt. If you are trying to buy a house and the interest rate is 10%, it's kind of high. If it's 5%, you have a talk with your partner and you go, 5% is not too bad. If it's kept near zero, the incentive for you to take out a 30-year loan of debt becomes a lot easier for you to stomach, and therefore it's expected to kind of move the economy forward. However, we've had this indication for about a year and some change that the Federal Reserve has said that they expect at least until the year 2024 that the market will not have recovered properly, and therefore this is why interest rates remain zero. The problem is, when they go to zero, you can't really lower them anymore until you go negative, which is very bad for the economy. And that's basically where we are. Just like previous statements from Federal Open Market Committee members, the committee within the bank, the central bank, is not concerned about inflation. Well, that's just wonderful. I think that there's another proposal for another stimulus check, and I think something like printing like $5 or $6 trillion. But that, please, just by all means, just please go for it. And they said that it should only have a transitory effect on the American economy. Wonderful. I'm actually shocked that this keeps making news. I'm not sure why Mr. Face right here keeps going into the news every single week to basically say the exact same thing. That, like, this is repeated every single week. How many times have you seen this guy's face on the screen? Probably about 87 times at this point. Interest rates are going to remain at zero. Bitcoin's going to continue doing well. They're going to continue printing more money. Bitcoin's going to continue doing well. The economy's not going to recover as quick as people keep saying that it was going to. Remember last year? Remember around April? Yeah, the economy's going to be fine. Didn't happen. And Bitcoin's going to continue being good, doing well. Well, that's the Federal Reserve news, because this was all over the place, and I couldn't really figure out why people were shooketh by this news or shocked that this had been said. It's like the 18th time he said it this year. They're not raising in the interest rate because they want people to take out debt to kind of fuel the economy for the next 30 years. Anyway, that's that news. And let's move on. In what? I cannot even try to believe it news. Bitcoin whales have accelerated accumulation of Bitcoin during the last few weeks amid price volatility. I did not see that one coming. According to the latest data published by Santiment, a blockchain tracking and analytics firm, large Bitcoin addresses have added approximately 90,000 Bitcoin to their wallets since the 5th of April. Santiment defines Bitcoin whales as a crypto wallet with more than 10,000 Bitcoin. The blockchain analytics firm mentioned that whales have started accumulating in large amounts, particularly after Bitcoin's all-time high on the 14th of April. The total value of recently accumulated Bitcoin stands at around $4.9 billion. The world's leading crypto saw a volatile April as the price touched $64,000 on the 14th of April. So the news is that whales have continued to buy. I could have told you that one. But I guess we always need Santiment to kind of, you know, come and tell us what's going on, because we'd be pretty confused otherwise. Anyway, so, and even more so, keep this in mind and let this stew in your brain that doesn't make any sense. We get whale news quite often, whether it be from Santiment or Chainalysis or any other company who's out there. The idea that just whale addresses accumulated an additional 90,000 Bitcoin is huge. That is major. Now riddle me this, Batman. If these mega whales, you have to have 10,000 or more Bitcoin, what about the people who have 5,000 Bitcoin in their wallet? Do you think that they also were not accumulating? Odds are they were probably accumulating. Now go a little bit further down. Imagine the people who have 100 Bitcoin. Do you also assume that maybe over the course of a month they bought half a Bitcoin? Now go down to people who have a Bitcoin. Do you think these people were not also buying 1/100th, 1/10 of a Bitcoin? Now go to everybody else, all the new people who entered the market. These people were probably logically also buying fragments of Bitcoin. 1 million Satoshi here, 2.5 million Satoshis there. All this adds up very quick. And I say this thing so that it also enters into your mind that people are still accumulating. We get whale news all the time. Like I've said it before, whenever we get news that a company has purchased, you know, $45 million worth of Bitcoin or some other, what was the company yesterday? The Japanese video gaming giant who purchased, for those of you who were not here, $100 million worth of Bitcoin. I know it's a lot. I always say, like, there are other companies who are like, we don't have 100 million to put into it, but we do have 3 million. We do have 250,000. We have 5 million that we can move around. It's definitely happening, but we always get the biggest numbers, and I think people hear it, and anything else is kind of like, well, it's not that, it's not that big of a number. It's still quite significant. Anyway, so whales are still buying. I mean, I'm shocked. You all must be shocked as well, because why would whales be buying the new world currency? It just doesn't really make any sense. Anyway, that's the whale news, and let's move on. Next up, I'm not sure if we went over this. It sounds familiar, but then it doesn't. There are words in the article that just don't really make sense to me. Minneapolis-based U.S. bank, they're called U.S. Bank, is taking a big step into the Bitcoin business. I have to sneeze and I hope it doesn't come out. In addition to the recent strategic investment in crypto infrastructure firm Securrency. Wow. U.S. Bank, part of the U.S. Bancorp, the 5th largest bank in America, said Tuesday it will offer a new cryptocurrency custody product in partnership with an unnamed sub-custodian. U.S. Bank also announced on Tuesday it has been selected to administer New York DIG's Bitcoin exchange traded fund should it be approved by regulators, building on the bank's long-standing private fund servicing relationship with New York DIG. So the news is, it was worded weirdly as I was reading it. The news is that another large bank, the 5th largest bank in America, is also getting into Bitcoin, and they're going to have a crypto custody thing that's going on. This is the first step. I mean, one of the many steps, where banks pretty much go, hey, you can trust us. Hold your crypto with us. I can feel it in the air. JP Morgan is going to do this, and Bank of America is going to do this. It hit me really hard as I was saying US Bank. We are probably by the end of this year, if they have not already done so, they are going to announce that they are going to be doing so. They want to hold your crypto. They want you to pay fees and all this other stuff, but this is how you make a bank more richer, by giving your money to them. So the news is, yeah, another bank is getting into Bitcoin. I think we now have the oldest bank in America. I think BNY Mellon. We have JP Morgan's definitely into Bitcoin. I think we had news last year or 2019 that Bank of America and some other bank, was it TD Ameritrade? Maybe, that they were thinking of getting into the Bitcoin business. I think Bank of America was talking about having their own crypto trading desk. And I mean, I'm missing a whole slew of other banks, but now we have the 5th largest bank in America going to be a crypto custodian. Because, of course they see where this is all going. They're not idiots. They know good and well if they don't adapt, they're going to just not be around in the next 10 years. So good job, US Bank, on being in the future. All right, let's move on. Next up, in news that should have also, I just hit the microphone and I hope it did not make me a robot sound thing. News that should have also been everywhere, but it didn't. Sure. The Central Bank of Iran has authorized banks and currency exchanges to use cryptocurrencies mined by licensed crypto miners in the country to pay for imports. This is yet again another country who is adopting cryptocurrencies to pay for imports, exports, and things within the country. One of the main things that's a huge problem is that you have to have a license to be able to actually mine crypto within that country, which is absolutely terrible because it stops normal people from being able to do it. And I assume this also extends to people who are trying to even just stake coins. This once again, corruption's terrible, man. This once again puts the situation where everyday normal people could be mining their own coins or could have access to the cryptocurrency space, but what the people who are mining cryptocurrency usually have gigantic warehouses and usually the richest people in that country, but that's completely besides the point. The Central Bank of Iran, or CBI, has announced that banks and licensed cryptocurrency exchanges can use cryptocurrency mined by licensed crypto miners. It's just a way to get control of the market. They know that their currency is garbage. The people know that their currency is garbaged. I really know, but it's not possible though. I always wonder like what would happen if, I want to say if there was just freedom, and I know that sounds really intense, but it's like everyone there knows that currency is terrible. Same, you know, they're not the only country, I promise you. But if people just simply were like, hey, there's Bitcoin, let's start using Bitcoin, but there was no like interference from the government. But this is why I said it's impossible, because the government wants to make sure that they have all these checks and balances, wink, and powers and stuff like that. So the news basically is the adoption rate continues. I would love if this, and I dare not even say trickled down, I would love if everyone just had the equal opportunity to be able to, you know, do whatever they wanted, you know, financially, but that's not how the world works, per se. So the new, once again, this is just another country. This is other country news. I don't know why I danced. Are basically going to be adopting cryptocurrencies more. We've had news, especially last year. I think there were 8 countries who were under sanctions. The news from last year was that these countries were basically already using cryptocurrencies to swap money between themselves. So I can only imagine what's actually happening behind the scenes that we're just not hearing about. Anyway, that's the further adoption news. And let's move on. Next up, Input Output Hong Kong CEO Charles Hoskinson said that Cardano is gearing up to accomplish massive goals that they set all the way back in 2016. That was like 95 years ago. In a new interview with Forbes, Hoskinson shared the recent developments in Cardano that suggest the smart contract platform will hit major milestones this year. He said, 2021 is kind of our overflow year, where we are putting together and turning on all things we dreamed of over the last 5 years. That includes things like our governance stack, smart contracts, our metadata standard, token issuance, full decentralization. We've hit almost all our goals where we've done metadata, now we have a native token. There are more than 10,000 tokens issued on Cardano, and that's a lot. What? He said there are more than 10,000 tokens issued on Cardano in just a month, which is mind-blowing. That's a huge amount. 10,000 in just a month. Okay, anyway, he also enumerated things laid out for Cardano in the coming months, including the rollout of the Alonzo testnet, which will bring smart contract functionality to the blockchain. He says the plan is to eventually create the best commercial product. Of course, you don't say like we're trying to make the crappiest thing on the network. No, like of course you say that you're trying to make the best one. In the next few months, he said, we are turning on smart contracts. The last mile from there, we will be turning on all governance components. I think the thing that's... The other upgrades are going to be great and wonderful and cool, and people will love them. It's basically the smart contract and NFT platform that's really going to skyrocket them. Of course, decentralization is wonderful and great and amazing. We'll get there eventually. But they need to have it so that they are basically... or can do everything that Ethereum can do. That is very, very major, especially at this point. For those of you who are wondering, yes, I still believe in Cardano, and I use that lightly. I do not think they will surpass Ethereum, but I do think the coin has a very healthy price movement coming for it in the next couple of months as well. There's what was that? It's really weird. When I was a kid, I had a terrible stutter. And I mean like absolutely horrible. And I practiced for so long. I used to say, she sells seashells by the seashore. The fuzzy wuzzy was a bear one. I learned stuff in other languages as well. There's one in French. It's called dans la tente, which is also really weird. It's like your aunt is waiting for you in the tent. Dans la tente. Anyway, so I try to get over the stutter, but I think when I get really excited about something in crypto, I'm like, anyway, I think Cardano is going to do extremely well in the future is the point I'm trying to make. Let's move on before I start stuttering all over again. Anyway, Let's move on. Also, really cool news. The island of Bequia, I hope I said that. B-E-Q, yeah, it should be Bequia, is located in the Grenadines. According to the Bequian website, it's known to be the best kept secret getaway of world leaders and celebrities. All right. And in that community, sooner or later, you'll be able to pay for most things in Bitcoin. You'll even be able to buy property in the 30. Okay. All right. Here we go. If Bitcoin skyrockets this year, you better believe we're going to have a lot of people moving to this island. It says you'll even be able to buy property in 39 luxury villas that they are building. So the island has announced that they are going to be accepting Bitcoin for basically everything. And I mean everything. It says the population is having trouble sending and receiving money. To reduce risk, transnational banks are shutting down their intermediary banking services, and thus small banks in the Caribbean islands consistently get cut off from the world's financial system. We had news of that in 2019, which I thought was also quite interesting as well. What was the country? There was some country in the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, depending on how you say it, who announced that they were going to be making a sand dollar. I don't remember what that was. I assume the project fell apart because no one's talking about a sand dollar anymore. And they basically mentioned that it's very difficult for them to be a part of the world's financial system because no one really wants to build a bank there, or no one really wants to do anything there. So when they do have something, everyone kind of latches onto it, but then it kind of ends up falling apart. So they wanted to make a digital currency that could work across all the islands. And I sat there like, Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, you know, we got a whole bunch of them that you could use as opposed to making a brand new one. So it just seems completely logical, and I hope this catches on. I hope this isn't just one island who's kind of sitting there like Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Like, if you all adopt it as your common currency, not only will you be richer because you're the first people to get it before the other billions of people on the planet, but you'll be able to transact whenever you want. All you need is a lot of things. You can have a smartphone, you can have a laptop, you can have a tablet, you can go to an internet cafe. You can do a lot of things to be able to transact in this money. Anyway, the man behind the One Bequia, Storm Gonsalves, that sounds like a superhero. Storm Gonsalves? It sounds like a superhero name. He recently told Euronews, this has pushed many Caribbean island nations to adopt blockchain and other cryptocurrencies a lot faster than many other developed nations. Bermuda, Bahamas, Barbados, and now St. Vincent are leading the way in this regard. Just do it. All of you do it. I said this years ago. I said that the first countries who openly adopt this are going to be wealthy. This is why I said before, I was like, I don't understand why it's not major news that nearly every country who's under sanctions, they're all mining Bitcoin and using Bitcoin. It's clear that, at least my eyes, that their leaders are probably buying it up as well. These people are going to be incredibly wealthy. So anyway, that's the island adopting Bitcoin news. Where was the other part? Here we go. You'll be able to pay in Bitcoin throughout the whole complex, from grocery stores to the cinema. Logically, as one would assume. Anyway, that's that news, and I believe this is the actual news, press release, whatever you want to call it. It says the world's first fully Bitcoin-enabled community is being built on this small Caribbean island. Looks beautiful. Wish I could be there right now, because I'm tired of not going anywhere. Wait. There we go. Had something else open. Oh, look at Bitcoin. Good job. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Bolero Bastos, Crayola Michelle, URL, All Crypto with Lionel, Tigara, Machonisa, Bake Me a Cake, Arfmedic 17, Anytime Fitness, Monk Corner Staff, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, Miller Hitch Chest Everyday, and Calskip's Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich 3, Setsuna, Damien, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Bankroll Network, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moher Moroni, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Nostromo, Martin Steuer, Joshua Vineyard, Moonman High, XRP, Utopia 569, Oscar Maldonado, what happened to my phone? Okay, Yasha Harari, Attila the Han, David James, Navarro Williams, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Tolek Banan, Snacky Chan, Conan Doskip, Leg Day, Paternoster, Crypto Stahl, Needed Miracle, Space Case, Troy Allgood, Bare Bones Mining, Quoted Biddy, Lauren De Silva, Miguel Grole, VB Nerd 21, Jojo Shaw Show, Mobarazi, and Carlos was like, Speedy655, AJ Cut 5, Crypto Black Sheep, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Not Brain, Stephen Dirks, the letter M, Wish Nikki, Umnu, and Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. Thank you to everyone who left a like, who left a comment, who left a subscribe. That makes sense. At the momento, Bitcoin is currently at 54,646 US dollars. See that dip? The unnecessary dip that makes no sense at all. It fell and is back even higher than where it previously was. These people trying to control the market are redonkulous. Ethereum is at $2,793. It looks very nice. There's nothing logically really stopping us from hitting 3,000 except for that psychological thing. Yep, it's a 3x. If Ethereum 3x is in price, we will be roughly a smidge away from where Bitcoin is. But I think at that point, Bitcoin people would lose their mind and start buying as much as they possibly could. Binance Coin is at, my goodness, it is at $616. This thing was just like 150 like 3 months ago. Jeez Louise, it is up by 7.8%. XRP is at $1.56. It is up by 12% at the moment. Dogecoin is still coin number 7. Hanging in there strong. It is up by 1.1%. Polkadot is up by 7.2%. Litecoin is up by 4%. Chainlink is up by 6%. Lumens is up by 5.5% as well. Anything else crazy? PancakeSwap is up by 8%. Can't stop the pancakes. EOS is up by 6%. Still no EOS news. EOS was like $2 before. Now it's at $6.26. Is something happening behind the scenes with EOS? I honestly have no idea because there's no EOS news. There's no EOS updates. There's no EOS upgrades. The price continues to rise. We hear nothing about voice. So what's the haps? What's going on? OKB is up by 18%. Matic Polygon is up by 17%. Huobi token is up by 20%. Tezos is up by 4%. Ethereum Classic is up by 3%. Algorand is up by 8%. Avalanche is up by 10%. Rune Thor Chain Thor is up by 11%. And Zed, oh, okay, Dash is, okay, good for them. Dash is up by 7%. Wow, these used to be in the top 10. Ugh. Dash is up by 7%, and Zcash is up by 3% as well. Well, I think it's Friday. Yep, happy Friday, everybody. Let's see where the market takes us over the next couple of days. I'm expecting just nonsensical weekend. I'm not expecting any type of logic to really hit the market, but it's still nice to see that all this stuff is going on. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.